My name is Jason from @Sow.theland, and today's video, we are in Marietta, California at Primal Pastures. Guys, I've talked about Primal Pastures before. They're a huge part of our story. Now they're a huge operation, but when we first heard about Primal Pastures, they were just starting out, and we took one of their workshops that they were doing at the time of how to process your own chickens. And so that was the first time I held a chicken, was at their workshop, but it just totally opened up our minds on like, hey, we could raise our own pasture poultry.
My name's Austin Alexander. I'm a farmhand here at Primal Pastures. Just work with all the animals. Right now we're doing a lot of laying chickens, and yeah, I just take care of the property and all the animals at the moment. But yeah, we do like 600 to 700. They're slowing down a little because our light system, we have a light system in there that's called hen lights, and it will keep them on 16 hours of light so that we don't lose production. But we're having like a problem with like flashing. So.
And that's in the coop?
That's in the coop.
Tractor?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a light that sits in there, and it like turns on like daylight in the morning, and just slowly wakes them up, kind of just. Really? Yeah, so it keeps us in production.
How many?
Instead of molting.
How many chickens produce this?
We're doing about 1,100 chickens right now. I'd say it's slowed down a little. Sometimes we'll hit like 800 eggs, you know. So we're doing quite a bit. We're doing like 60 dozen a day. We have like local people that want to buy them, and then we also sell to some restaurants. Yeah, but really I got started here because I was a chef in town. I went to culinary school up in San Francisco. Yeah. And I was working up there, and it's like Michelin star restaurants. And moved back here because my family lives here. And I worked in a bunch of wineries. And I opened like this restaurant called the Nightingale. And then that place, I left that place because I knew Paul because we used to buy his chicken. And then I was like, do you have anything out there? So I do like all the cooking events here. And, nice. Yeah. And then, but I really like the farming part. And that's like my passion. Like if I could just do this, I would, you know. Oh, I totally understand. But the cooking part's like where the money's at, so right. I have to do that still.
So do you wash the eggs before you cart them?
The only ones I wash are the ones that are on the floor eggs. We usually don't wash our eggs. A lot of people don't like their eggs washed. Yeah. They just want it. They like I can't remember what it's called, something on the outside of it. The bloom? But yeah, the bloom on it, and they don't want them washed. And then we don't refrigerate our eggs either. We just keep them in like 70 degrees in the office. And then the thing about refrigeration is if you refrigerate, then they have to stay refrigerated. If you leave them non-refrigerated, they can go in the fridge. So you just can't take them out, because if you take them out of the fridge and let them sit, they sweat, and that's how they grow bacteria on the outside. So that's when people get sick. So if you buy our eggs, since they're so fresh, because eggs in the grocery store are already about 3 weeks, 4 weeks old almost, these will last about a month and a half in your fridge. So it's a lot better to buy these fresh. And yeah, we only sell them like 4 or 5 days old usually, because we run through them so quick. Yeah, all we do is just straight up just start packing. I check them for cracks. Dirties get separated, and then we wash them later. It's all on non-GMO, soy-free. And they eat a ton of bugs, obviously. Obviously our motto, bugs not drugs. And then all I do is like if they have a little dirt on them or something, we literally just wipe them off. Spray them. But just make sure they're clean for the customer. We'll do these chickens for like 2 years, and then they'll slow down production after about 2 years because we won't molt them. And when you don't molt them, they kind of slow down production after a while, the older chickens. So we just sell those back to Primal Pastures, and we sell them as stewing hens, which is awesome because they taste delicious. Yeah, because they're out on pasture for a long time. They have time to develop all that flavor. Obviously they get the cream of the crop feed.
So we got to suit up?
Yeah.
Why do you have to suit up?
We got to suit up because we're under quarantine from the Newcastle Disease that's going around. It's part of our biosecurity plan here.
And that's all of California?
Just San Bernardino County, Riverside County is under quarantine at the moment. Where my stuff is.
So we have to suit up. I mean, I don't know where they found the Newcastle.
They're finding it at random pet stores. They found it at a couple bigger chicken farms out in San Bernardino that don't practice our style of farming.
They're not pastured poultry.
Yeah, not pastured poultry.
Yeah.
No pastured poultry has been found to have Newcastle.
Right.
This kind of just shows how our style of farming, there's no disease. You know, we've never had any chickens die from disease ever. So yeah, it's just an attribute to how we farm. It's the right way to farm.
Right.
So
we just have to do it because we have to.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, so we have the Dorper sheep out here in Southern California. They're well acclimated to the 100-degree summers that we have down here. They shed their own wool, so we don't have to do any of that, and that's why they work so well down here. Yeah, they're just part of our style of farming, the regenerative agriculture. A diversity of animals is always good, and they mow down the grass for us before the chickens get there, so the chickens can easily find the bugs in the grass. Mabel here, just a lawnmower. She's a mascot, so I think she's safe. But yeah, I think she'll just spend the rest of her days here eating grass for us. She's a good girl. She's kind of a sassy old lady sometimes, but
man, it's so crazy I have to wear booties.
I know, right?
And a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Like, man, this is not.
That's what we're going through right now. It's definitely not fun. This is all Primal Pastures, but we do source some of our product from other places that are regenerative farms like we are. So
I see.
So we'll source some of our pork and lamb, but they're from farms that we visited and we trust to do the same style that we do.
And you have events.
Yeah, we'll have events out here, tours. We have tours with about 200 people a month usually. Come out here for a tour, but right now we're under quarantine, so we're not having tours, unfortunately. So that's kind of hurting us.
So they just put a stop to everything.
Yeah, just stopped everything. You know, it's just
no tours, no fun stuff.
No, nothing. None of the fun stuff. All the stuff that we enjoy. The whole reason that we started this company, you know, just so that we could show people and be transparent. You know, that's what we're all about, transparency.
Right.
And they're kind of stopping us from being transparent. You know? Can't bring people in the coops is what we used to do. Actually bring them inside. Now they have to stand outside the fence if they do come here. All kinds of logs and all the fun stuff that go along with factory farming, and that's not what we're about. So
right. And so typically you guys do the meat birds here too.
Yeah.
Right? But not right now.
Not at the moment. We will have a batch coming in as soon as possible.
So what's in these giant coops or chicken tractors is egg layers. Man, this is a giant chicken tractor. Man.
Yeah, about 350 birds in here. Still plenty of room. We could probably even do more if we wanted to, but we like to make sure they have plenty of room to forage and not to overcrowd them. As you can see, there's beautiful birds in here, you know. And all you do is open these up, eggs roll down.
Wow.
It's a pretty awesome process.
So you don't have to go reach in there.
No reaching in. They're all in there hanging out. See them in here doing their thing.
Nice.
And then, just roll. You
don't even have hay in there.
No, so they have these nesting pads in there that's what they sell that come with it, and they seem to like it. And all I do every day is I spray them out, so keep them nice and clean. That keeps our eggs nice and clean, so we don't have to do anything to them. As you can see, pull them out and they're just perfectly clean already. And then the light I was telling you about is right over there. And now we'll turn on and light up this whole coop, and that's how we keep the birds laying year round. And they all roost on here, and a lot of them like to roost up here though. They like to be, the higher the better, they feel safer.
So there'll be all these chickens roosting.
Yeah, I'll come in here, like sometimes I come in really early to make sure the lights are working and check it, and they're just all sleeping up here. Tons of them, just all up here, not one's on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah. That's another thing I have to do, unfortunately, is I come here once a week and I have to swab them, swab their mouth, send in their saliva to a lab, and then they check for Newcastle. Nothing. It's been months and months and nothing, so it feels like a waste of my time, but
yeah,
that's what we got to do until it's done.
So how many times do you have to feed them?
I only feed them once a day. It's about a $1/4 pound per bird. Yeah, so every morning I come in here. This one takes about 3.5 bucket, 25-pound buckets. And yeah, just once a day, just make sure they're on a watering system, pressurized watering system, so, which is really awesome. So we don't ever have to worry about their water unless the hose bursts or something like that. But as you can see, they just always have water 24/7. And we're on a well, so they get the freshest, cleanest water. I drink the water here all the time.
So you pull this with a truck?
Yeah, every day it gets pulled with the truck. We hook a chain up to it. It gets pulled the length of the coop. And as we walk out the back here, you can see exactly the pattern that it's doing to the field and what it does when we bring the birds across here, how it eats it down, and I mean, we can get a closer look here at what it's doing. Just tons of poop all in here. Just totally beats up the grass.
Yeah, you could see the pattern of the coop.
Yeah, just you can see where we came down this whole lane right here, and then we follow behind with these pods and we irrigate.
Do you ever have a problem with the chickens like getting run over?
When they're first put in here and they don't really understand the concept, but now they line up in the morning, they see me coming, they're all at the front of the coop and they just march right along.
Yeah.
And even if we do run one over, we have these flaps on the back and they just roll out the back. It doesn't hurt them.
You ever have a problem with predators?
No, because these girls right here, or here's one of them. One of our livestock guardian dogs right here. She's the one who does it all for us.
And how many dogs do you guys have?
We have 2 in each pasture, so we have 4 right now. The reason we do 2 is because they work as a team, you know, and chasing down predators. In the winter, this gets rolled down. And that's so at night when it's really cold that we can keep them warm in there and they stay nice and warm, and then during the day we just roll it right up. And it keeps it and lets that airflow go through there. And we also have, since we get up to like 100 degrees, we have misters inside the coops. And when we get to those 100 degree, 105 degree days, it will drop the temperature about 5 to 10 degrees.
You mean misters?
Misters, right?
Man, these guys are spoiled.
I don't even have misters at my house.
I know, I need misters.
Yeah, they got misters. We give them massages. It's like the Kobe beef of chicken.
What kind of meat birds do you guys raise?
We raise Cornish cross, and we do the Freedom Rangers. So we do a mixture of both here at Primal Pastures.
Is there a reason for that?
People prefer one or the other usually.
Really?
So
okay.
I mean, just a different style of chicken.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know the Cornish cross is like your grocery store chicken with big breasted, not as big legs, doesn't forage as much. And then we have the Freedom Ranger, which is just bred to forage, smaller breasted, just the meat's a little pinker, a little darker, has a little different flavor to it.
Yeah, so. I just did a taste test on my channel. Cornish crosses versus Freedom Ranger.
Who won?
Freedom Ranger.
Did they? Yeah, heck yeah. That's my favorite one.
Yeah. So do you have to turn these around when you pull?
No, so it will go to that end and then it will just turn with the chain on this side and then we pull that way. Yeah. So it never turns, it just back and forth like this. Yeah. And then sometimes we'll go over 2 lanes depending, because we don't want to go back on the land for another 90 days. And that's the whole purpose of regenerative agriculture is letting the land rest and have time to.
So every 90 days, so after 90 days you could run it on the same piece
Yeah,
of
we can
land.
get back on that land. You know, we really try for 90 days, might be a couple days under, but really we want to make sure we're letting that land have time to rest.
You guys ship the eggs? Like online shop?
You can buy our eggs online, which is awesome.
Where do you ship at?
We ship everywhere. We ship all across the country. Yeah, you can buy them. They come in. We sell them 5 dozen at a time. And then we throw in like 4 or 5 extra. And if none break, then you get 4 or 5 extra. So.
Wow.
And then also you can come down to the farm and buy them anytime you want.
No, I remember the first time we heard about pastured anything. you guys were selling it. This is when I think you guys were first starting out. You definitely didn't have this spot.
Yeah.
And not that big of production,
No,
but
not at all.
yeah, we bought a dozen of eggs.
Uh-huh.
That was the first time we had pastured eggs, was from you guys.
It's just a
and
whole
chicken too.
Yeah, a whole different ball game.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing.
The viscosity of the eggs, the color, the texture, everything is just amazing.
Right, right. I mean, even just to see from where you guys started, you know, like small backyard. I think you guys were on 1.5 acres or something like that.
It was nothing.
Yeah, there were nothing, and then to see it now, it's just amazing.
Yeah. We evolved, definitely. I mean, it's just such a demand for it. People understand the health benefits of it. The people like to choose with their dollar, you know.
Right.
And that's the only way we can ever maybe shut down some of these giant factory farms is, you know, buying pasture-raised chicken instead of Tyson chicken or whatnot.
Yeah, maybe we won't have to wear, so we won't have to wear jumpsuits.
We won't have to wear all these jumpsuits. I mean, I feel really cool in this, but...
Yeah, I feel official.
I just need a name tag and I could work at a factory farm. You know?
Right.
So we're allowed to just go in here.
Only chickens are quarantined?
Yeah, only chickens can catch the Newcastle.
These are Coonies?
Cooney pigs, yeah, Coonies. Originally from New Zealand. And they have the shorter snout on them, and they can't tear up the ground. That's why we use them. They're just grazers. They just eat grass all day. They'll eat anything, but mostly grass. They'll eat your toes. What are you guys doing?
How old are these?
These are probably only about a month and a half old. They're getting big quick. And this one's giant already. Little guys. And then eventually they go down to the lower and they act as a cleanup crew. They go behind any feed that's spilled from the chickens. They go behind and eat the feed, eat whatever they can find, really. Mostly grass and grazers.
You guys will process these?
Yeah, these will get processed and sold once they're big enough, probably around 180.
How many months is that about?
These ones will go like at least 6-7 months before they're big enough.
Bro, 100% grass.
100% purely grass, or if, like I said, they'll clean up the feed, but our feed's all organic, soy-free, non-GMO, so they don't, nothing, you know, so they're super clean pigs.
So I have much love for these guys. Thank you guys for letting me come out. You guys are a huge part of our story, and you guys are doing important work. You have definitely inspired us on our homesteading journey of wanting to know where our food comes from, how to raise pasture poultry, and how to do it in a good, healthy way. I will leave a link down to Primal Pastures so you can see more information on the things that they're doing here. But I appreciate you guys watching. My name is Jason from Sow the Land, and it's a beautiful day in Southern California. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Yay!